What's up, guys? Who wants to learn about the housing crisis in 3 minutes? 3, 2, 1, let's go. Back in the 60s, 70s and most of the 80s, the cost of a house was about 3 to 4 times the salary of an average income. If you were earning £10,000 a year, you could buy a house for 30 grand or 40 grand. And successive governments from Thatcher to Major to Blair to Brown to Cameron calculated that the average age of a centre-right voter was about 72. Now, much has been written about Blair aping Thatcherite policies to win over centre and centre-right voters. But what they learned in the 90s and noughties was that by building insufficient housing, they would create a crunch effect, a supply and demand situation where those that owned property would get richer. The houses owned by those traditional conservative voters would double, triple, quadruple in value. And although at every election since then, both the Tories and Labour have said they have plans to tackle the housing crisis, neither one of them have implemented a policy that would piss off these voters. Breaking it down for you, if a mass building frenzy took place round the corner from your mum's bungalow, it might not be worth 800 grand anymore. So they don't want to piss off this core group of voters who do actually go out and vote. But perhaps more importantly, they don't want to fuck off property developers, a significant chunk of whom donate generously to the Conservative Party, who've been in charge for the last decade. Even when interest rates were at record all-time lows, the cost of a home was still out of reach for most everyday working people. Because remember, back in the day, a working class person could buy a 3-bed family home on one salary. And this is a common misunderstanding whenever we talk to the older generations and they come out with shit like, "Well, yeah, son, I know what it's like. When me and your mother were starting out and we had you and your little brother, we had that little place in Falcon Way. It wasn't much, but we called it home." And we're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, so I should get a place like that?" And they're like, yeah, just consider it, is all I'm saying. That place has just sold for 410 grand, Dad. Anyway, I must be off. I've got to go and talk to that equity release fella. Your mother and me are thinking about buying a beach house. Now, the obvious solution would be to build more houses, right? But they can't do that without pissing off their voters, so instead they get creative. Step forward the period of 3 or 4 person mortgages, or the government's magic money help to buy deposit. Or perhaps shared ownership, where you only own 25% of the property and rent the rest. Anything to avoid building enough houses to bring the cost down lest they piss off your grandma, who's probably going to have to sell a place anyway to pay for a carer to stop her running out in the street naked saying, "I am the golden queen of Wibbly Town." So at least it's not all bad. At least when they say, "Can you come and take care of me?" you can say, no. You have a house to pay for that.